Hi everyone, it's your girl Dr. AB. I'm officially Dr. AB. I defended my the citation 3 weeks ago, and I did a qualitative data analysis. So today I'm going to be giving you guys steps on how to analyze data qualitatively, and we're going to be analyzing manually because we're using few sample size. So in case we're using a large sample size, then we can use software to analyze our qualitative data. But now we're going to be analyzing it manually using Excel spreadsheet. So we're going to be using the thematic content analysis for our data today. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so steps on how to analyze qualitative data by Dr. A.B. Oguma. Okay, our first step is definitely qualitative deals with interviews, it deals with focus group. But today I'm going to be sharing the data I used. I conducted an interview, not a focus group, but an interview. So first, after conducting the interviews, I used the online ref transcript services to transcribe those interviews. You can transcribe your interviews manually, but using software or online services to transcribe those recordings make it easier instead of manually transcribing those recordings. Then the first step is to transcribe your recordings. Then after transcribing your recording, you move those transcript data by each research question and place them in the Excel spreadsheet for further analysis. So after that, I use the thematic content analysis and in qualitative using the thematic content analysis. It makes it easier. So it guides you, give you the steps on how to analyze your data. So using the thematic content analysis by Granahan et al. 2004 techniques. So first step for the transcription data is to review it several times, which is what I did. So I reviewed the interview several times. So, and this is really good when you have other data analysis, especially when it comes to qualitative data analysis. So at least a minimum of 2 persons should read those data so you can compare the meanings that you identified from, like the response you identified from participants, so you can compare with the other data analysis. Then the second step is after you read these responses several times to find meaningful units, then the codes were categorized based on their differences. So we will put the codes on different categories. So I'm using prenatal delivery and postpartum care experiences because my research is based on pregnancy experiences among postpartum women during the COVID-19 pandemic. So my codes are going to be generated on the prenatal delivery and postpartum care experiences. What those are the responses we're definitely going to get from the participants that are interviewed. Then step 3 is after that, so you create a code book. So using Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, and that's where you have the create a code book where you have different columns, where you have your question column, you have your phrases, you have your codes, you have your clustering, and you have your theme columns. Moving forward, I'm going to show everything. Then after that, step 4, we're going to then you categorize the codes into what? Themes and patterns in the data. So after we generate our codes, then we categorize those codes into themes. Then step 5, which is the last steps. After that, the themes that were identified from the coded text will be clustered to identify the essence of what each theme is talking about. So let's go to Excel spreadsheet. Let me show you the 5 steps I just stated here. Good. So this is our spreadsheet, right? So after we transcribe the data, and this is our spreadsheet. So your spreadsheet, you just have to create different columns. So the first column right here, which is the column A, I have cases, we have participants 1. My participant 1 is not here. So definitely you have participants 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. So your column A is going to have all your participants. Then your column B is your questions. So column B is going to be questions, then the response from each participant. So we have question 1, tell me about your experiences. Question 1B, question 1C. So, but today I'm going to be analyzing using just one question, and I'm going to be using question 1C, which is our D column. So that is what I'm going to be talking about today. So question 1C is, please describe your emotional state while pregnant during COVID-19. You know, you're going to have like some participants, they will tell you a lot of stories, and sometimes like a lot. So like for participant 5, it's just short. So for participant 3, it's a lot. So that gives you a rich data. So when you're reading the responses, you want to highlight those phrases that answer your question, the interview question, which is describe your emotional state while pregnant during the COVID-19. So participant 1 said, I was scary. So it's emotional state. So this is a phrase that answered the question. So you highlight this phrase. Then there was a lot of uncertainties. That is a phrase that answers your question. You highlight that. Then my anxiety level was high at some point. That is a phrase that answered that question. So you highlight. I was frustrated is a phrase that answered because we're looking at emotional state of mind. So these, you keep going and looking for those phrases that answer the question. Then after you highlight, then you go to the second participants and see their response. They said there was some scary part. You see how scary keep coming out? So that is how you highlight. Then you know that, okay, this is really, whenever you see response from more than, same response from more than 3 participants, okay, then definitely your question is really answering what you want. And qualitative data deals with, okay, I was supposed to use 15 participants, but I ended up using 10 participants because why? I was hearing same thing from participants. So then you stop collecting data. So whenever you keep hearing same response from participants, then you stop. So that's, you get to your saturation point. So that is what I did. I didn't get all my 15 participants. With 10, I just decided to stop. I get to my saturation point because the participants were saying same thing. I couldn't get any new response from participants anymore. So it was same thing I was hearing from participants. So I decided to stop the data collection. So after back to this. So after we highlighted the phrases that answer the question, then you create Excel spreadsheet 2. So this is going to be spreadsheet 2. So spreadsheet 2, like I said, so you create spreadsheet 2 for just question 1. So now the next step is creating a spreadsheet for each questions. So the first spreadsheet, all the questions are going to be there and all the participants are going to be there. Then after you highlight your phrases, because now we want to move all the phrases we highlighted to our coded book. So on that, we're going to have just one question. So on that one question for the spreadsheet, this is what we're looking, because we're looking at question 1C, which is, please describe your emotional state while pregnant during the COVID-19. So this is all the participants. We have participants 1 to participant 10. So you can see, oh, it was scary. It was relaxing for me. It was scary. Scary keep coming up. Scary, emotional state, high anxiety. Scary, high anxiety was something we see keep coming out from the responses we keep getting. Then after that, you create a code book. So we have the third spreadsheet. So third spreadsheet deals with creating a code book, which is we have the phrases. So now we just want to condense those meaning. First, we have all the responses, but the second spreadsheet, we're going to have just the phrases from each participant. So the phrases we are light, we'll copy it and put to make the responses shorter. So it's not going to be a lot, and it's not going to be wordy. So we just move in just the phrases that answer the question of your emotional state while pregnant during COVID-19. Then after we have the phrases, from the phrases, then we generate code. So our second column is going to be codes. So for the phrases, I say it was scary, I was worried. So definitely there is two codes that are generated from these phrases. So the first code was scared, and the second was worried. Then the second participant said it was relaxing period for me. It was good. So we have relaxing and good. So that can be the same code. So that is the code for which I generated. Then the third participant said it was scary. So I didn't put this code here because we already have scared in here. So scared is being mentioned twice, the code. So definitely this code is one of the major code because it is measured twice now. Then scared. Then there was a lot of uncertainties. So we just found a new code, uncertainty. We're going to put uncertainty here. Then my anxiety level, high anxiety level at some time. So we found another new code, which is high anxiety. Then another code we found there is going to be frustration. So definitely you can generate more than one code from a response from a participant. Then other one, they said, okay, there was some scary part. You see, scary is out again. So 3 times now. So this is a major theme in this question. So a major code in this question. Scary is a major code in this question. And it was difficult because the COVID-19 go out so much. It was lonely. So yeah, we had lonely and sad as a code that I generated from this response. Then my emotions was really good. We already have good. It's up there. So I repeated it, but normally, okay, this is very moody. So we had good. So I don't need to put good because we already have code that is good. So we had good 3 times now. 3 participants mentioned good, 3 participants mentioned scared. Then I was moody, very moody, but not bad temper, but kind of snappy. So we got new code from here, which is what? Moody. And we have another code that said emotionally what? Stress. So this was the code that was generated from these phrases. Then our third column is clustering. So clustering deals with the phrases, deals with number, how many times participants repeated that. So we have, it was scary. So 3 participants, more than 1 participant stated that. So clustering, we put that here. So to make it seem that this is going to be a major thing because scared came out several times. Then was worried. It was relaxing. So that's where you put those. Then after that, this is where we generate theme from those codes. Okay, so for participant 1 that said it was scary, I was worried. So the theme generated was, excuse me. So the theme generated for this question is pregnant women reported feeling scared during the COVID-19. Then the second theme, pregnant women reported feeling worried. Pregnant women reported feeling relaxed. So this were the code. So then you generate, this were the themes. So we generate the themes from the code, which we generated from our phrases, our responses from the participant. Then after that, okay, let me go back. So let me go and show you the step-by-step on the Excel spreadsheet because the first I was showing you was a picture. Let me click this and yay, good. So now this is the raw spreadsheet. So we're going to be working on question 1. First, if you want to make it easy for you, for column A, you list all your participants, participant 1, 2, 3 for your Excel spreadsheet. So this is your sheet 1. So sheet 1 meaning you're moving all the responses to your Excel spreadsheet. You see how lengthy, wordy this is? So after that, we're going to cut them. So we're going to be working with question 1C, which is what I did earlier. So I'm just showing the raw Excel spreadsheet. So like just the highlighted, the phrases that answer the question. Then after that, you create sheet 2. So sheet 2 deals with your code, your coded book. This is where you just have one question and you move just your phrases for participant one. Yeah. So now you don't need to list the participant. You just move all the phrases. Then we generate our codes. This is where we generate code. After generating the code and you're clustering, then you generate your themes from your codes. So then you're going to create another spreadsheet to answer question 2. So you keep doing that. So you will create a new spreadsheet for question 2, and you have your phrases, your code, your clusters, and theme. Then you create another spreadsheet for question 3. So you keep doing that. So every spreadsheet goes for one question for you to create a code book for each question. So this is what we do. So after that, then we have a coded book. So coded book deals with your results. So this is what you got from sharing my screen then with Mo. Start sharing screen back to my PowerPoint. Then this is the coded book. So on your coded book, you just have to have your question, your first column, then your codes and your themes. So we don't need to move our phrases and our clustering. So phrases and clustering will be taken out. So this is our coded book. So this is what you present as your result. So these were the themes we got. So definitely you have several themes from question 1. Since we're working on question 1C, okay, this was question 1C. So question 1C that we're working on. So for your code, we just have to work on the major themes because there are several themes. So we work on the major theme. So the major theme that we generated was worried and scared because more than one participant stated that they were worried and scared. Then another code that was major was uncertainty. Then moody, frustrated was a major theme. And lonely, stay indoor was another major theme participant stated during with their response. So these are the major codes that were generated from the participants' response. And then these are the themes. So worried and scared comes with high anxiety. So the theme that was generated for that is going to be high anxiety. So this is your result. And for authenticity, we have authenticity about coronavirus. That is what the women say. They were certain about the virus. And then moody, snappy, frustrated, that is code that goes under emotionally what? Stressed. So if someone is moody, snappy, and frustrated, so this code, we're going to put it under and give it emotionally stressed. Then lonely, stay indoor is going to be on loneliness. So this is the themes that were generated. So these are different questions. Since we're working with question 1C, emotional state, so this is what it looks like. So this is your result, and this is your coded book for your qualitative data analysis. If you have any questions on the steps on how this is done, you can send me an email. My email is aboguma23@gmail.com. And if you need any consultation services, I'm here. Just send me an email and I'll be at your service. And please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like this video, comment, and subscribe.